Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Strategy Smith Growth Strategies. Now, this live stream is all about taking action. I've had quite a lot of feedback through my career and through networking, etc., working with businesses, working with clients, working with colleagues around strategy. How can you turn strategy into action? Well, that's why I'm called the Strategy Smith. You all thought it was my surname. It's a happy coincidence. So a Smith takes something and it is able to mold it and turn it into something beautiful and durable. And that's what I do with strategy. It's about taking action, taking something and molding it and being able to use it, add value, something that looks beautiful, something that can be that can add a lot of value and also lasts over time. This live is all about turning market potential into growth planning and plotting where your competitors are, and then understanding how you can take action in order to implement your growth strategies, turn them into action. So let's establish a starting point. In your business, you'll have sales, you'll have a revenue stream. If you're just starting, you'll be planning on having a revenue stream and you'll be selling a product or a service. Product or service. You can obviously sell both, but this is about understanding the sales of your product or service. So at what price do you sell your product or service at? And then you'll be able to determine through looking at your revenue, either past sales or forecasted sales. If you've created a business plan, this will help you get to the business plan and action as well, as to what products you're selling at what price, which shows your sales and your revenue. You also need to think about, in this case, the cost of creating those sales. Okay. The reason for that is because then once you understand your revenue and your cost, you deduct that, which gives you your gross profit. So we call this profit. Okay. And then from profit, you'll be able to see by product or service which have the most sales and which are creating you the most profit. Now, there may be a price point where you're able to sell a product or service at a higher price for the same amount of cost as other products, which gives you a higher margin on your product or service. Also, you'll be able to establish profit pools as well within different industry sectors or within different client clusters, which we'll come on to in a second. This will tell you your profit pools. Okay, now, it's very important to focus when looking at market potential, because you are in danger of getting into analysis paralysis. And this is why I started with the analogy of what is strategy. I've been in meeting rooms, I've been face-to-face with C-suite members, I've been in board meetings and big meetings where, to delay a process, someone will ask for a strategic analysis. And that's why I go into analysis paralysis as well. The people, the experts, you in your business will know a lot of the answers, but when you collate them in a focused manner, you're able to see quite quickly a plan of action, and then you've got to take action in order to grow your business. So you understood your profit pools, and when you're focusing on your target market, it's very important to establish the place of where your market is. Is it a region? Is it a country? Is it another city that you want to grow into, for example? Do you want to grow organically with current clients in another area of the world, region, country, town, etc.? This will give you focus when you establish a place for your target market, to establish the market potential within that place. People. So you'll recognize some of this from the textbooks, okay? This is a practical example. Some of these P's you'll see in the marketing P's: product, price, place, promotion, etc. This is purposely to demonstrate that there's resonance there, but this is a practical example as to how you can, again, put strategy and things like this into action. So people, Okay. Now, are you aiming to market, or do you sell business to business? So are you a business that goes to another business and says, we'll deliver this service? Are you a business that goes to another business and says, we'll deliver these products to your people? Which brings me on to another point, actually. Are you business to consumer? So do you deal directly with your clients and serve them directly? For example, are you an accountant? Are you a solicitor? Are you a hairdresser? Do you go to a business and say, I will deliver this service for you, which will serve your people? So if you're going directly to your client and serving them directly, and you're marketing your sales in that way and selling in that way, that's business to consumer, B2C. If you're going to a business and say, we will deliver this product to you as a business sale, like a wholesale, for example, that's business to business, B2B. Service delivery, for example, you'll go to a business and you might submit a bid to provide a service. You might be a builder, you might be a construction firm, you might be a facilities management company, you might conversely be a legal firm that provides corporate advice, and your sales channel is through to businesses and not necessarily through to people themselves as your direct clientele. Now, if you're a business that goes to another business and says, we've got a great deal, we understand that you've got a lot of employees, you have a lot of people that work for you, and we'd love to deliver a service directly to them, but we appreciate that you're the decision maker because all of these people work for you. So you're still going business to business, but you're going business to business to consumer. You're dealing with a business level decision maker, but you're serving the people within that business. Now, this will come very clear as to when we put the plan into action as to who you serve, what value you're delivering, and to who, which brings us back to the people. So you could have B2B to C. Okay. Now, if you've understood what products you're selling or services you're selling, at what price, the cost it is to sell them and create them and everything else, you understand the profit, you know where you're selling, and you know who you're selling to, this then gives you your target market. Target market. Okay. Now, when you're creating when you're doing this work and you're doing this work, focus on your target market and don't lose sight of it. It's very easy to look very wide lens when you're doing market potential. Very easy to fall into rabbit holes as well. Once you've got a target market, stick to that target market for this piece of work, take action, learn, and come back to see the results, and then recycle this process. Your target market should be a continuum of activity, because when we get to the market potential growth planning quadrant that I'll draw in a minute, when you grow, your target market expands naturally. When you grow and you create new products, when you grow and you make your services more efficient, when you grow and essentially add more value to your customers or consumers, your target market will grow with you as well. So it's important to, initially, when you start this market potential, turning it into action planning to grow your business, keep focus on your target market at the beginning and start with the end in sight as to what it is you want to achieve. Understand which products are selling well, or which products you want to sell at which price to ensure you gain the most profit into your target market with the sales strategies of business to business, business to consumer, or whichever one you choose. Now, what's important now you've got your target market is you want to understand your current market share within the target market. How well are you doing? Are you a big player, or do you aspire to be a big player? So when you're looking at market potential, You want to be in your market and know who is around you. So we'll come on to competitors in a few minutes. But also you want to know the piece of the pie that you're taking in. So your current market share, we'll call it MS. M share. Okay. That looks at your current revenue of your product or service and also take into account your current profit as well. So this is revenue, your current sales that you're selling in to your target market of the product or service. Okay, divided by total market potential. Now, this is why I mentioned focus is important when looking at your target market, because you can go really big with your total market potential. If you're selling products to people, in inverted commas, very vague, your target market could be billions of people, for example. If you're selling a service to a number of different customers, and you could potentially sell a business-to-business service to Google or Amazon or Apple or Shell, for example. If they're within your target market, great. However, if you're, for example, a national service provider or a regional service provider, those super major companies may be a bit large for you to target in terms of your target market, which is why it's very important when you're thinking of total market potential, keep it within your target market. So total market potential. Okay. Now, you need to break the total market potential down to get to the action steps that we talked about at the beginning. So you will have customers, or you will have aspirations to get to customers. You will have trialed a product. For example, if you're a startup and you will have an understanding as to who your customers are. If you're an existing business and a thriving business, you will have current customers that may be buying certain products and services from you, but aren't buying the full package yet. So these are your organic growth potential. Okay. They're your current clients that you can cross and upsell products and services to. So these are your clients that you're seeing all the time. You're able to increase customer value when you understand your revenue and sales and profit. So you know exactly which products and services to push in what way, and which customer value drivers that you want to push them with. Then you add this to your warm clients potential. Warm clients, they're the people who are within. If you're a big business, you might have a CRM, you might be using applications like Salesforce, for example, and you'll have a pipeline of warm clients. If you're a product business, you'll have a database, or you'll have a regular flow of clientele that you're able to sell products to, or have an understanding as to who's regularly buying products from you. And if you haven't got that, I would advise that you put something in place to understand which products and services are selling and to who. If, for example, you're a service provider that bids for work, then you'll have a pipeline and an understanding as to which of your warm leads are coming up for tender for you to bid. These are your warm clients, and you should add them to your organic growth potential clients as well. Then, again, focus on the target market. You've got cold leads, cold clients potential. Focus again on the target market in mind, because again, you can go very wide. Cold clients are potential customers that you don't have a lot of contact with, or you haven't had any contact with. So you know that there's go back to the service provider analogy, you know that there's a big client that you haven't had a lot of contact with, you've got no relationship with, but you need to generate that client, move them into the warm client list in order for you to grow your business and win that business with your cold client. Also, if you've got lots and lots of clients, or you're selling products, then your cold client list will be the potential people that you haven't invited into your store or into your business yet that you can have contact with to bring them in. And again, focus now on your target market and your niche market. Those added together is your market potential. And then when you look at your current revenue of your product, service, or business, you'll see how much market share as a percentage you have of your organic growth, of your warm clients, and of your cold clients as well. Now, it's important that you're able to see this illustrated, which is why I came up with the market potential growth planning quadrant. It basically plots your current position. You understand the size of your market share compared to your organic growth potential, your warm leads, your cold leads within your target market. Let's have a look at that now. And I'll rub some of this off, so do a screenshot or you'll be able to pause it and rewind it. All right, so you've got your starting point. All right, your starting point, these are your number of customers. Okay, this is your revenue. So we'll put on here pounds, euros, dollars, what have you. So that's your sales. And then when you know your current position, you'll have a certain amount of customers achieving a certain amount of sales. And then you'll be able to allocate your number of customers, your sales, which gives you your percentage market share. Now, you can divide this up into previous years. You can divide it up into products and services. I would advise that at the beginning, you look at your products and services with a view to the ones that sell the most, which you'll see from your data, or the ones that have the most profit. Ideally, the most profit are the ones that sell the most, but you'll be able to see when we get through this how you can take action to move this forward. Now, your organic growth. So we'll say this is current position, current starting point. Let's say start. Okay, start. This is today. So you've done the understanding of your current business. The understanding of your current business. We'll call this today. Okay. Today, because I'm northern. So today, not today. So now you have today, you've got this many customers and this amount of sales. So your organic growth potential, you'll know within your CRM or within your database how many customers you have that achieve this amount of sales. So same amount of customers could have a potential in your business to get you from this amount of revenue to this amount of revenue. Okay, so these are your organic growth potential. Okay, and if you've plotted your margins as well, This is your percentage margin, so we'll call this gross profit. You can plot EBIT on this. You can do great things with Excel and charts now where you can scale numbers and percentages. Your current profit, we'll just draw it for illustrative purposes, is going something like this. You know, it's at this point here from today. Your organic growth potential, then you're able to see your, get my pen lids sorted. Then you need to look at your warm leads. Your warm leads are within your pipeline. Again, your current clients will be in your CRM because they'll be current clients. Also, your warm leads will be in your CRM. So this extra amount of clients within your CRM will give you this amount of sales. Okay. And then your cold leads, which is within your target market. So you can find great things now in terms of statistics, in terms of finding people, in terms of numbers of people from publicly available and ethical information. Stick to within your target market in terms of place and the products and services that you're selling. So your total market potential may look something like that. So these are your warm leads. Cold leads. Okay. From here to here is your total market potential within your target market. Can't stress enough, if you're an analyst working in a big organization, query first what's the target market, and ensure that you get it straight from the beginning that we're going to do this piece of work and it's going to be within this target market based on these services or products at this price. This is my understanding of the margin. You know, you'll have CFOs and FP&As, or if you're your accountant, or if you're an entrepreneur, you'll be able to understand this yourself or with support from people like myself. Organic growth, warm, cold. Now, time to take action. You understand your market share currently. You understand the amount of profit that you're making and the current amount of customers you've got to achieve this amount of sales. So where do you want to be? Where do you want to be in 3 to 5 years? And I would recommend that the further ahead you plan, up to 5 years. I know businesses that have planned from 5 to 10 years, but in order to keep the eye on the prize, my advice would be minimum 3, 5 is ideal. And so the reason why this is called the market potential growth planning quadrant is this axis from today takes into account time. That's very important because you'll be able to allocate on this chart how many customers you want to give you the right amount of sales at your margin ambition as well. So profit is, cash is the monarchy. So revenue is vanity, profit is sanity, and cash is the monarchy. So it's very important to focus on cash at this point. You know, your profit, which will lead to you gaining greater net profit as long as you're optimizing your expenses over time. So if you're here right now, and you'll have your own numbers within your own business and things, but you obviously want to increase in profit, and you'll have a budget to hit. You'll set yourself targets, and once you allocate a budget ambition, that should drive your sales ambition as well. How many products or how much services do we need to deliver and sell to ensure we hit these marginal targets? So let's say we want to accelerate somewhere like this, nice steady growth in profit, which means we can start to get creative on what we want to do in years 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So if you've seen the article on market potential and also on competitive analysis, you can very easily yourself say in year one, we want to grow organically, focus on our current client base, and we want to be here in year one, and we want to achieve therefore this margin in year one. And you'll see on the charts that I've just drawn a nodular line there. Year two, we want to accelerate our growth. We want to ensure we win the bids that we're submitting. We want to ensure that we're selling to the warm clients that we have our products and services. So we want to be here, perhaps in year two, means we need to hit this margin. So we need to sell to this many customers to drive this much revenue to hit this much margin. And year three, you can see where this is going. Okay. So you've got a growth plan in place. In order for you to hit these margins, you need to sell to this many customers, this much revenue to achieve these margins. And that will be when you drive it through with your margins, that will tell you on your current delivery model how many sales to how many customers that you need to deliver to. So you've got your market potential based on what product or service you're selling at what price, cost of it, so that how much profit you're making on your product or service. You've established profit pools. You understand the place that you're selling to, the people that you're selling to, and how you're selling to them, which gives you your focused target market. Based on your current position, your organic growth, your warm targets, and your warm leads and your cold leads, your percentage market share. Now, what are your competitors doing? Now it's a good point to understand your ambition. Also take into account so you understand what it is you want to achieve, but also take into account where are your competitors. Remember the focus on target market. So target market is important again, because when you're looking at competitors, you want to focus on the competitors within your target market. Now, when you're looking at increasing your growth at number of customers, number of sales, and you have a pipeline of warm leads, or you might even have a pipeline or a database or a contact sheet of cold leads that you haven't had any contact with yet, but ideally you know who and where these people and businesses are. You should take into account what I call hit rate or success rate, is probably a better phrase. So how many bids or things or times do you sell, and how many sales do you make? That will tell you how many products you need to sell or try to sell before you succeed in aiming the target that you've set yourself. Similarly with services, if you're sending out 3 bids, for example, and you're winning 1 in 3, if your revenue and your profit target means you need to sell 3, then you need to go out to 9 bids. You need to have 9 warm clients, ideally, in order for you to succeed in your ambition. Again, going back to action, this will determine what you invest in terms of sales, what you invest in terms of marketing, what you invest in terms of understanding what drives customer value is very important as well, because these all have a cost, which will affect your profit and need to be taken into account when you're driving sales in order to hit your revenue and profit targets in line with pipeline, in line with your hit rate, in line with your success rate. So that will give you a good understanding as to marketing and sales budget as well. You might need 2 people because you know that one person can only sell 3 at a time. So if you want to sell 3, you need 2 so that at least you can get 6 out there, because you've got a good chance of getting 2. Yeah, you might need 3 people. 1 can double hat as marketing, for example. So again and again and again, you'll be able to put this into action when you take into account pipeline and hit rate. Now, how do you look for competitors? Focus on your target market. Everything that you've done with your own business, if you've established the competitors within your target market, I would advise that you look at, depending on your own ambition and your own targets, profit, sales, and pace as to how fast you want to grow. Focus on those criteria when you're looking at your competitors. So what are their products and services within your market? What are their price points? Are they a higher profit than you? You might not know specifically how many customers they have, but if their revenue is higher than yours, but their margin is lower, then you know that you're winning in some way because you're more efficient if you're selling the same product or service. If you've got a competitor within your market, within your target market, that sells products to your current customers, but they're different products to your own, then you need to understand why your clients are buying these products from the customer and not buying from yourself. And I'll come on to the punchline of all of this at the end of the session. We'll get through this last bit quite quickly because competitors is the whole new live in itself. But essentially, if you look at focus down on competitors within your target market, ask what product or service they're selling at what price. Don't ask them. You'll obviously need to look it up yourself. What is their profit that they're currently making? Are they in your target market? Are they selling in the same place as you? What are their strategies? Do they sell business to business? Do they sell business to consumer? I've personally seen our competitors in a business I was in overtake us in profit. They were delivering the same service, the same outcome, but they were going with a different sales strategy. They were going a level down into more business to consumer sales criteria and sales push. And we were sticking to business, whereas business to business in some cases they've got much more clout, much more negotiation power because the size of the prize is bigger. But if you're able to target and niche down into a lower category and sell things at a higher margin, sometimes the price points are much better there. So think about how your competitors are targeting the market as well. Again, focus, don't fall into rabbit holes. You may have a number of competitors, but focus on the main competitors within your target market. If, for example, you have access to data like I do, where I can look at a number of businesses at the same time, you can quickly look at the top 5. I would say top 5 competitors within your target market. Then, if you've got time, look at the ones that are really struggling and try and learn from them. But again, don't get into the rabbit holes of analysis paralysis. Pick top 5, maybe 1 or 2 that are struggling. Don't forget to look out for the startups as well. They'll be making lots of noise and disrupting the market. They'll show themselves, believe me. And I encourage them to as well. You know, go for it if you want to take on the market and disrupt the market with new technology, new services. It's fantastic. So understand product and service, price, what the profit is that they're making, who and how are they selling within your target market. When you understand this, you can plot them on the market potential growth planning quadrant. Again, you might not know how many customers these guys have, but you can see how far ahead or behind they are of you in the race for your ambition. So you've got perhaps a startup, and remember, we don't know how many customers the startup has. So in terms of sales and profit, they're here. Okay, so they're lower in profit. They have don't forget this is today, and this is today. So if you look at, let's draw that actually, current position. There, that's your current position. So we'll say current position. In terms of revenue. Okay. Competitor. Call them competitor A. Startup. So they're a little bit behind. They haven't got as much revenue or profit as you, but there might be someone that you want to look at, keep an eye on, because they might be growing fast, for example. Now, you could have a direct competitor. Okay, we'll call this competitor B. They have more sales and higher profit. How? Why? What are they selling? You know, who is buying from them? Are any of your current customers buying from them? Are any of your warm leads buying from them? Remember, ask your people and your customers. They will be your most invaluable data source to understand customer value and why they're going to a competitor and not you. So what this is telling you is, although you don't know how many customers competitor B has, you know that they're a year ahead of you in your ambition. You know how many customers you need to close, and you want to think about efficiencies as well. If you want to sell to this many customers to achieve this amount of revenue and achieve this margin. So they're highly profitable. Are they leveraging technology, for example? You know, are they outsourcing certain activities that allow them to you know, keep a similar price as you, but ensure that they're hitting optimum service, optimum customer value, very efficient cost and expenses, so they've got very high margins. These are the ones that you need to look for and take action. And we'll come on to the action in the punchline in a second. You've got another competitor C. Higher revenue, but lower margins. So again, main competitor will have a lot of clients, but maybe not selling in the right way, maybe selling lower value services and lots of them, lower value products and lots of them. They may be going business to business, as the analogy before, and you're sticking with a good decision-making criteria within your target market. But again, top 4 or 5 competitors and learn from them. Then you've got your best in class. Competitor D. You want to be competitor D. You want to beat them. You want to, in 3 years' time, we're going to nail competitor D. You know, don't care what it is, what it takes. We're going to get there. These are the guys that you want to aspire to be. For example, they're 3 years ahead of you. They've got more sales and their margin is higher. They're way outside the cold market revenue potential. So what is it that they're doing differently? Is it their marketing strategy? Is it the customer value that they're delivering into their customer base? Are they outside of your target market also? So that's another point to take into account, is again, focus on your target market and try and look at, when you're looking at bigger players, they may have wider consumer and customer bases outside of your own target market, which is why sometimes this can show that they're out competing you. But again, they're doing something right, is competitor D. So the main thing with all of this is understanding exactly where you are and how to take action to grow your business. Now, we've compiled the market potential growth plan in MPGP Quadrant to understand your number of customers and your number and your sales, and plotted your margin and your ambition margin. We've added in your growth goals, so you know how many customers you need to sell to achieve this amount of sales and achieve the same and achieve your ambition in terms of margin. We've plotted your competitors, so you know how far or ahead you are, if your ambition is realistic or not ambitious enough. Now, another thing you can think of as well, which will be another seminar, is acquisitions. So if you want to get there quicker, you can start approaching and talking to customer D. Say, do you want to form a partnership? Do you want to merge? Is there opportunity for you to approach the competitor in order for you to buy the business, for example? That'll save you 2 years at least. It might take you a year to get from now to buying, closing the target, but it'll save you 2 years to get to this revenue and profit ambition. So there's those things you can think about as well. Again, decisions and actions. Practical example. Now, let's talk about action just for the last 5 minutes. Okay. I mentioned about the data that you've got within your company and how you're able to understand why your customers are taking money from their pocket and putting it into yours. There are two key data sources to look at when you've done your growth planning, you've done your market potential growth planning, you understand your ambition, you understand where your competitors are. The two key groups people, your people. What's going on? So you go to your own people, they will have way more contact with your customers than you will. If you're an entrepreneur and a sole trader, or if you're business to consumer, take into account and ask direct feedback from your customers as to how the service is going. Are you happy with the service that's being delivered? Now, second data source you've got is customer. Now, irrespective of whether you deliver a product or service, you're B2B, B2C, B2B2C, etc. Your main aim, if you're the person or your people are serving customers or consumers, their main aim is to deliver an outcome. This is why it's important when you're doing market potential and growth planning to take into account competitors, because competitors they can also deliver the same outcome to your customers. All you have to do is just ask. Ask your people, ask your customers. You're getting the same outcome, but what's happening here? It's the way that you deliver the service. It's the way that you deliver the product. It's the customer value that is taken into account. If you have a favorite coffee shop, you look down the high street, I guarantee there'll be, in the UK, they'll have a Costa, they'll have a Starbucks. You might be able to get one from a supermarket. You might be able to get one from a petrol station. But you will go to your favorite coffee shop if you drink coffee on a morning, and there'll be a reason for that. So think about, wow, I can get a coffee from anywhere. Does it taste nice? Is it because it's delivered with someone who I know behind the counter? For example, you go out for a lovely meal. You could get a meal from McDonald's. You could get a steak cooked from someone down the road, but you go to your favorite restaurant for a special occasion. Why is that? You're delivering a service, or you received a service. You could get your windows cleaned, you can get your garden done, you can get anything you want done by anybody, but you go to the same people. Why is that? Think about this when you're thinking about putting into action your ambitions when you're selling to customers or consumers, because your own people will tell you, my client or our consumers, they want this. They'll also tell you what's happening to them in the workplace, in your business, or you will need to look at yourself if you're by yourself. What's stopping me? And ask your people, what's stopping you from delivering customer value? What's stopping you from delivering the reason why customers take money out of their pocket and put it into ours? Your people will tell you. Then you've got your efficiency project. You need to make sure that whatever it is that's stopping your people delivering customer value, you make it more efficient, you systemize it, you eliminate it. Ideally, you have a what not to do list, so that your people or you are focused on delivering the outcome, but with the utmost customer value. Ask your customers. Your customers will surprise you. I would guarantee that you might have 10 things that you can place as to why your customers buy from you. And your customers will have 3 or 4 that deliver 60 to 80% of the value. The reason why they take money out of their pocket and put it in yours. Ask. So just to recap, you've looked at the market potential, you've put in place your growth plan, you've plotted the competitors, you put it into action. You said, ask your people, What's stopping us from getting from A to B? What's stopping you from delivering customer value that the customers have told us the value is? What's stopping you from doing that to deliver the outcome? And then, because you and only you know this, you will outcompete your competitors. You'll gain more sales and increase your profits ahead of them. I hope you've enjoyed this evening's live. Go back, look at the whiteboard, and decipher. Throw some questions at me if there's anything that you want to talk about. Go and visit thestrategysmith.com. You can see this anywhere. If you want to get in this from any stream, you can get into it from YouTube, but it goes out on X, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook as well. Have a wonderful evening, and I'll see you next week.